Good afternoon, y'all. We are back with part two, and to talk with Amanda's parents. I can't remember where we left off at.
I don't either,
I
man.
think we okay. I think the part we left off is that you were saying that Amanda she has done this before, and that the circumstances.
Well, so like I said, Amanda has never done this before. Um, we've never had an issue with her, um, just running off and things like that. For the most part, like my wife was saying, she's a typical teenager, going through the hormonal stages where you either is either far light, far left, or far right. You, so but we never had any issues like that. She was, we had allowed her to get a summer job. You know what I mean, to try to teach her, because she's closer to adulthood than she is a kid. But she still is a kid. She still is a minor. But we was trying to instill in her, hard work, working for your own things, and you know, but still, like and never paid a bill, never did any, no, whatever.
Right.
Her money was her money. We just wanted her to learn work ethic, and she would work hard. She wanted to be a nurse, so she was taking AP classes, everything that she was. I forget what they call it at the school.
Honor.
Gateway. Um, she was doing that, trying to work towards being, working in nursing medical field. Her sisters work in the medical field. So she just that's what she wanted to do. She loved helping people. Um, served that I was saying that she was very active at church. I'm not like again, I'm not making it seem like she's an angel. I'm just telling you who she was. She
Right.
she
Right.
was she was a young woman, a young lady trying to figure herself out. And our job as parents is to try to guide them in a way that they should go. That's the right way to, the right thing without, we didn't stifle her voice. We would talk if she didn't agree with anything or if she didn't understand something. We would reason with her and show her, you know, um, the different circumstances and different outcomes of making a decision. So you have to be able to make informed decision. So don't just make a decision off of your emotions. So um, she's a
Right.
good kid, man. She's just,
Right. And we were talking about the last place that because y'all said that somebody had allowed them to stay the night, and then they had told them they had to leave, and was that
yeah.
and that was the last place that they were seen, right? And where was that at? They were last seen, if you know.
Well, the last place, from my understanding, that they were seen together
Mhm.
was in Hopkinsville in Kentucky.
So they were seen.
Um,
So they were seen together last in Kentucky, and somewhere they supposedly split up.
right. So the little information that they did get from Kim was that they split up before she went to New York, before she got to New York. And she said that I think she said she hitchhiked her way to New York. I know I read a comment that somebody was asking how did she get to New York. Nobody's ever sure because we haven't had a chance to talk to her, and the authorities here haven't had a chance to talk to her. So that's the whole thing. Um, Again, because she's a minor, they have to jump through hoops just to even have a conversation with her because right now she's in a whole nother state. So the laws here are not the laws there. So they do things different there than they do here. So we have to coordinate with them and get her back here so we can get more information.
Right, right. So that's totally understandable. And we were talking about also that people said that speculation that she's been in these other states, possibly still be in Hopkinsville.
Right. So um now everything that's public information, I wouldn't, I don't mind sharing. So
Right.
um we've had sightings of, we have people call us and give tips to the police saying they saw her in Ohio, they saw her in Memphis, Arkansas, they saw her in uh Clarksville, Oak Grove, just these different things with, but no one ever, wouldn't be in real time. You know what I mean? That
Okay, I
they
get what you're saying.
we'll get this information probably a day behind, and then they'll say, oh, she was with this person, or they was with somebody that looked like this and somebody that looked like that. So me and my wife was discussing with the detective how, um, with information you have to be careful, because some people may want to just insert themselves, and you don't know who's helping her and not helping her. They may try to, say she's in, um, Springfield, and
Or
just to throw you off of a real scent. You know what I mean?
right,
So we don't know what the situation is, but the reason this is so dangerous and so important is because we don't know. We don't know, what happened when they left here. We don't know if a mistake turned, if a bad decision turned into something worse. That's why it's so important for us to find her, because, um in the world of missing children, having a child missing this long is dangerous.
very dangerous. Even 24 hours is dangerous. But just
You know
I
what I
get
mean?
what you're saying.
Because they have a window. You know what I mean? They have a window saying that if we don't catch them between this time and this time, so for us as parents, this is scary, but we have faith in God, and we choose to speak positively. We choose to think well of Amanda. We choose to believe that she is well. You know what I mean? Until we know different, we don't look. You know what I mean? You're not going. So when people say negative things, we're not trying to jump on nobody. We're not trying to create an argument. We're not trying to, be bullies. We're saying, you know, speak the same language we're speaking. We're speaking well of the situation. We believe that God is going to come through. So, don't think that we're detached from reality, but we choose to speak well. We believe that the power of life and death is in the tongue. We believe that. So we don't want to, entertain anything else until we have to entertain something else. You know what I mean? So
I totally understand, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. You should. That's the way we're supposed to think when these are type of situations. You never want to think negative or jump the gun or anything.
yeah,
Who knows? Who knows? She
yeah,
could be watching this broadcast. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
Because
absolutely,
she definitely could be
absolutely.
watching this broadcast and and thinking probably, hey, what's my move home? Can I go home? Of course you
Yeah,
can come home because your parents,
Yes.
absolutely.
you hear your parents are on here and they're genuinely caring and supportive, so they want you home. And this is a very dangerous situation, and I hope that people continue to share these lives and just to know that it could be you know it could be another set of parents up here. And
Yeah,
it's right now there is a lot of parents out there that are having kids that are coming up missing or they're leaving or they've been gone for a month. But thank God for a lot of them have come back safe. So that's what we want in Amanda's case too.
and
Hmm.
I want to speak on something else, because we try to, keep our ears open to different things. And, so we when we first did the reward or whatever, um we felt like we wanted to, give an incentive to give information, to get information. And then, after speaking with certain people, they was like, maybe that's not enough. And we're not, we're working a working class family. We're not rich, you know what I mean? But God sustains us, He provides for us. So we're not hurting or nothing like that. But the amount, if I had $1 million, I'll offer it. If I had, you know what I mean? So
Right.
we did create the GoFundMe, and what we did with it and what we do with it is we increase the, um reward. And then we was trying to get a private investigator. We end up hiring someone, and then, that fell through. But, posters and gas to help, give to people that come help. Like, we did a search. These, people that we didn't even know came and helped us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, we went door to door. We walked in people's houses. You know what I mean? We knocked on doors in multiple neighborhoods. You know what I mean? We drive from Hopkinsville, Oak Grove,
Nashville,
Nashville,
the
Clarksville,
Sango area,
Sango. Like we're, you know,
everywhere
we're looking in places that
where leads come.
you know, and we do it and if we get it in real time, we go in real time. You know what I mean? It's like we was in service one Sunday morning and got a phone call and said that she was in one spot. We left in the
Left.
middle of service. Like it what? You know what I mean? You're not gonna
Right.
I'm going to look for my baby. You know what I mean?
And
That
that's our plea as well as parents. And just if you know something, say something and tell us in real time. Even if you're not sure, we let us get to the bottom of if it's true or not, or if it's, the situation of what you thought it was or not. But say something, because telling us, oh, it was 3 hours ago, oh, it was 2 weeks ago, doesn't help,
yeah.
because that's more time lapsed. Tell us in real time. Our numbers are plastered over every flyer, all over social media. If you don't want to talk to us, contact the police. We're okay with you contacting the police. We have absolutely nothing to hide. We are open books.
Yeah.
We're open books.
Yeah.
You contact us here too. We'll take it here. We'll relay any
Yes.
You
messages.
know,
And what's crazy? I had a case like that years ago where a girl was missing for months, and she ended up like, miles away. And the parent didn't know she was missing, contacted me to tell me that she was there, and I gave her the mother's number, and that's how this girl ended up getting found safe. And she was from my state of Delaware.
Wow.
Yeah, she was from Delaware. Probably about 2 years ago.
what's
Yes.
what's crazy is it's obvious, you know, that someone's helping her. You know what I mean? And we now I'm gonna tell you this because I have no type of, you know, I believe in it. You know, I believe an adult is helping her because you moving too undetected. Something's not right. You know what I mean? So we're trying to get to the bottom of this because m- man, my daughter's out here. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't this is not the wave. This not a game. You know what I mean? You know, this is not something. This is someone's life and that whose life affects multiple and many other lives. You know what I mean? Amanda has a brother, right? Amanda has two other sisters.
She has a niece that's asking,
You know what I
"Where's
mean?
TT Pooh?" Can you imagine telling a 3-year-old, trying to explain to a 3-year-old where her auntie is?
You know, she has church family that, you know, that's praying for her, that's standing in the gap for her, that's, you
Looking
know,
for her.
she has a grandmother who
God,
loves her. You know
godmother
what I mean?
that
A godmother who's very involved. You know what I mean? Like it's not, Amanda comes from a loving circle. These people care. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like this is not, you know what I mean? But you know, she has suffered loss. You know what I mean? For the, you know, we her my wife father and
my bonus dad, my
biological
father, my
stepfather
grandparents,
passed away.
it was a lot of death in our family just from
My mother
natural
passed away
causes.
last year. Our grandson passed away last year. So you know, it
Things have happened, but
things
it's
have happened, but we've stayed together. You know what I mean? Like this is not that.
Mhm.
You know, this
Right.
is not
Right.
this is not that. Like we stuck together. We
Right.
do things together. We move as a unit. My wife been telling my kids since they was babies, all for one, one for all. They'll tell you that themselves. You know, like
Oh, I can tell myself because I see how active y'all been. And you've been everywhere, all over social media, and me being a father, I'm gonna be the same way. I'm telling you,
yeah.
there's no length that you won't go to to find your kids.
hmm
No,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, you know, I have other responsibilities as well. So
right.
if I can be out 24 hours, I can. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have other responsibilities. My wife has, she has to work. We have to pay bills. You know what I mean? We like I said, my son, my other two daughters, we have to take into account how this affects them. So trying to navigate through these different landmines and emotions of different people, it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. My son is not a talkative person when it comes to his feelings. You know what I mean? But he has them,
Right. I totally
right?
understand that. I
My
totally
other two
understand.
daughters, they might be more vocal,
Right.
but they have them.
Right.
So trying to navigate with his, with theirs, with my wife's, with mine, you know, she'll tell you this is the most I've talked. I don't talk. Unless I have to.
Right.
and and we wanted to speak out more because we know that there are a lot of ideologies and different stigmatisms that come along with African American children. You know
Oh, it sure
that
is. This
they're in a
sure.
broken home, or that there's dysfunction in some shape, form, or fashion. Amanda has had her father in her life all her life. My husband and I have had a healthy marriage for 22 years. There has Amanda has come from a two-parent home, structured environment, nothing nothing that would say we should be here. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
not your typical
Man,
view of
Situation.
what
And
society
the,
says.
right,
It's
and you're right.
respect.
You're right. And they do a lot of times, expect for this to come behind that, or just a
Yes,
broken
yeah,
home.
man,
we've seen the comments of people saying, "Don't know child," especially once they miss Christmas. Kids don't miss Christmas for no reason. They must be running from something. Something's going on at home. No, nothing's going on
listen.
at home.
This is this is
Yeah.
this is
No, but
this
that's a
is
narrative that people are going to run with. People are always going to run with that. Just like
this
they always going to
this
run a
is
narrative. It's
man.
it's, it's always going to be a narrative. But like you said, for your fact, and I hate that people have to come out and say what they are because of a narrative, whatever. But I'm glad you guys are, speaking up, and you're doing what you're doing to help find your daughter. I mean, that's the only way it should be. It shouldn't
Yeah,
be no other way.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't. We don't. You know. I this is as much as I'm gonna say about this, as
Okay.
far as us and our marriage. My children will attest to this. They've never seen us argue. They never seen me fuss. They never seen, I can't say fuss. They never seen me raise my voice to my wife. They never seen me lay my hands on my wife. They never seen me disrespect my wife. We don't believe that. I don't do that. That's not where I come from. That's not the cloth I'm cut from. So as far as that, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Cause it's not about us. It's not about anything. It's
Right.
about Amanda. We want her. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that we living in a society that tells our children that discipline, and I'm not talking about putting hands, I'm talking about discipline, I'm talking about correction,
redirecting.
redirecting. They think that
Hmm.
that's some form of, you don't know. I'm not going to let you do what you want to do, because my job as a father is to help you grow correctly. That's my job. I tell my son the first sign of manhood is self-control,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
I got some
I tell
myself, so I know. Yeah.
So me telling a man that no, you can't do that. That's not me being strict. That's me being loving.
Yes. It's being
No,
a parent.
I
no,
want to know
no,
your friends. Who you want to leave and go to a basketball game?
What's
Who you
wrong with
going with? Let me
what,
meet them. Tell
what's
them to come in
wrong
the
with
house.
me wanting to know who you around?
And you know what? You said something key, Mom, because I've come across a lot of parents that will try to come to my house before, and I'm like, no, let me talk to you first, or that we're gonna go with the details because I don't want nothing happen on my watch or anything saying happen on my watch. So I need to know who you are, meet you before you come anywhere near this house. I don't care who you are.
When this incident first happened, I immediately reached out to the parents that I have spoken with, and some of them even reached out to me because in the heat of everything, my focus was trying to find Amanda, trying to find Kemera. So, but they reached out to me because I'm getting parents' phone numbers. We're talking. Okay, yeah, your child is over here, but let me meet the parent because the
Right.
child could be one thing, but the parent could be something else.
That's true, and you ain't lied about
So
that.
let me meet this parent. Let me see what grain you grow from. Let me see, because we as parents we have to safeguard our children, because you may be raising your child right, but the next child may not be being raised right.
And can't nobody stay over my house either. I mean, can't
And
nobody?
is that
They can't go over nobody's house. I mean, they can't go over
that
nobody's house.
bring them over here because I know here is safe.
Exactly.
They
That's
like
I feel the same way.
once I talk to parents. Now, don't get me wrong. Once I have developed a relationship with the parent, then
Right.
we have allowed Amanda to spend the night over a friend or two house here and there, here and far and in between. But you know, we went and asked. But one thing I do want to say, in addition to this conversation, in our search for Amanda, I'm asking every parent
Man,
and say, talk to your children. Get inside their phones, search their phones, look into their social medias, check for those
you'll be
hidden apps,
surprised.
check in those hidden apps.
You will be surprised.
See if they have multiple social media accounts for the same 3 and 4 Snapchats, 4 and 5 Instagrams. Check all of them. Get all that
Twitter.
information. Twitter. Get your children's
Everything.
email addresses for iCloud, Gmail, whatever domain they use. Check it.
She's
Check
speaking
it.
facts because I just took my daughter's phone not too long ago, and
Yeah.
I search her phone daily. So she is
Yes.
right. They have different what you call, and I had to go through and block certain things.
Yep.
So me being a father, so trust me, just because I run this platform, don't think that I don't go through stuff that some of these parents go through. So I definitely
I
do.
believe, listen,
Yeah.
us, I told someone else, I said, and don't get me wrong, children need advocacy. They need advocates. Children need people to speak up for them because they can be placed in situations where they seem like they don't have a voice. It's easier for an adult to be heard. It is, in some respect. But when it comes to parenting, God help us, there is no avenue for us in real, just hear me out. Parents go through so much in trying to raise our children, and we are handcuffed by so many systems that are put in place that if one thing is done, a child feels overly empowered to say, "Oh, I'm calling CPS and I'm gonna tell them X, Y, and Z," and then here go the parent because what good parent wants to sit in jail over nonsense?
Yeah. That is so
Oh,
true. You're
over
right about that.
allegations, over lies, and now you're trying to prove, disprove a lie. And then now you got all of these things going on, and it's like, who speaks up for the parents? Who advocates for the parents? And I know they say these systems are in place to bring the family together, but no, no, that's not always the case. Trust me, that is not always the case. Parents are left out to just fend for themselves. And when we try to get help to say, I'm experiencing this and this and this with my child, it's automatically, well, what you doing wrong? But there may not be nothing necessarily wrong in the household. There are outside influences that our children are exposed to.
They forget the kids go to school for 8 hours a
They
day,
forget they go to school for 8 hours. They forget that they are not in the parents' view 24, and then even in the school system. I
and
can
then
tell you for a fact that my children have come home and telling me about instances that they've had in school from a teacher. And you best believe that the school system here knows my husband and I very well, because what you're not going to do
Yeah.
is bully my children and mistreat them. Now, don't get me wrong. If I get to this meeting and I find out that you all have substantial proof to prove that my child is not being truthful, I'm going to deal with my child. But when I know my child is telling the truth and y'all playing with my babies, you gotta get Mama Bear. You gotta get King Papa. You gotta get it. You
yeah,
gotta get it. Because they experience things from other places too. It's not just always home. That's the problem.
it's definitely not, and you are not lying about that. You definitely not. It's a lot of influences on the outside. Like I said
But I'm
again,
I'm,
go
I'm
ahead.
asking parents, check your ring cameras for my baby. Check your kids' social medias for my baby. Go into the close friends and check what if they close friends with her. Check it. And if you see anything, let us know. Tell us in real time. Look, be diligent. When it get late at night and you know you a parent that work overnight and your older children are left home alone, because at a certain age, you were able to leave your kids at home by themselves. If you know you're a parent that work overnight, call your kid late at night and tell them to turn that camera on and flip that camera around and make them walk through the house.
Exactly.
Check, check and see. Check and see, because I know God knows whoever is helping my baby is happening while under the either the watch of an adult, or the adult is just flat out not aware, because unfortunately we live in an era where we have to work and we're not able to be at home like it was back in the day where you could just have one parent at home and the other parent working. It takes two incomes to run a household, and even with that, it's still hard.
It sure
So
is.
I'm not knocking no parent for not being able to be, 24/7, because we life doesn't allow that in this day and age. It just doesn't. But I'm asking, check, call your house in the late night hours if you're a parent that work overnight, and tell your baby flip that camera around and walk through this house.
That's right.
Because I know my daughter that's out there. Amanda is strong. Amanda is intelligent. Amanda is smart. She's gonna figure it out. Trust me. So do I. I know that she won't allow nobody just to bully her and make her do something. She's very strong willed. Very strong willed. I raised my girls to be that way. I know she fighting. I know she fighting. She gonna get home. She's gonna get home, but I need y'all. We need y'all help. Parents to parent. It's not about a mother to mother, father to father. Parent to parent. Help us find my baby.
And I know people asking like, what is Kemera saying? What is this, that? I just want to address certain things. Um, Again, she's a minor, so just trying to you can't do what you would do to an adult, to a minor, especially in the judicial system. So we're awaiting answers too when it comes to that. Um, we do know she's not talking. Um, that's frustrating, but that's where it's at. She's not talking. Um, I can't tell you where she was when she was found, but they did find her. And as soon as they found her, they called us to let us know that Amanda wasn't with her. Um, she did say that Amanda, they split up before she even got to Kentucky. I
Mhm.
mean, got to New York. Um, we did have people tell us that they had sightings over multiple states. Um, we're still sifting through the validity of all of that stuff. Um, the police not going to tell us certain things, even us as parents, they're not going to tell us certain things. That's frustrating. Because as a father, as parents, we want to
We want to
home.
know.
We want to know. So certain things they not telling us because they don't want to taint the investigation. Um, what else I want to say? We're simply all we ask is to put yourself in our shoes. If it was your daughter, if it was your son,
What would you want?
what would you want? What would you want?
They
What
want
would
to
you
take you
want?
home.
If you have any issues and you saying, she must have ran away for a reason. Okay, fine. I got you. Just call the police. Call CPS. Because I have nothing to hide. My wife has nothing to hide. If you're that, and
Unprotected.
if you feel like, you need to protect her, call the people that can protect her. If it's not us, if you feel like, I'm trying, what my goal is to take the excuse away,
Hmm.
right? Because if the goal is her safety, if that's the goal, then we on one accord.
We really are.
We on one accord. We want the same thing. We both want the same thing. If you, I'm saying it's just like this, you know, because her safety is the most important thing. Being surrounded by people that love her is the most important thing. So we in agreement. Call somebody that can protect her. Because all we want is for her to be safe. All we want is to for her to be in a place that she's protected, that's for real. Because at the end of the day, when the world stops, uh this stops being a headline, we still got to deal with the broken pieces. So
Amen.
however you feel, we still have to deal with the trauma behind it for her and for us. We still have to look children in the face. We still have to look grandbabies in the face. We still have to look grandmothers and uncles and aunties in the face. We still have to deal with it. So we in agreement that it's about Amanda, her safety, her mind state. It's about her.
And did you have any other questions about for us that you wanted to ask or anything that we may not have covered or discussed?
Honestly, no. I think y'all covered everything. Like I said, of course, there are certain things that you can't say in the investigation about the investigation. But one thing I will ask is, have there been any more like sightings lately, like in the last day or so? Any movement?
Not in the last day or so. Nothing. The last everybody's telling us information that we've already been told that she is in Texas. Texas. That's the only area that they're really heavily speaking about. As I stated, Florida, Lexington, Kentucky, Texas,
New York,
and New York are the four areas.
Florida.
I said
So,
Florida.
so Florida.
And Florida has been the areas that have been coming up in as a place of interest. Every piece of detail, every lead that you all have sent to either myself, my husband, or our daughters, we have given it over to the detectives. We speak with them constantly.
Okay,
I know that there has been sayings like why haven't an Amber Alert been done and different things of that nature. The only way that they can do an Amber Alert, from my understanding and from my research, is if there is a noted vehicle involved and we have the details of the vehicle. We have to give proof that there is a mode of transportation.
that's true, and which I think that law needs to change too.
And we have actually been reaching out, talking, linking up with other agencies and protesters that are trying to get that launched to get some amendments made to
We're
that. We're
advocating.
advocating for that.
So I want to say this. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I
sweet.
want to say this. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, period, is behind on cyber crimes and
Mm-hmm.
uh, child crimes. So in the state of Kentucky, if the age of consent is 16, and if like a sexual crime happens, and say a young lady is sleeping with an older man or an older woman is sleeping with a younger man, um, the victim will have to be the one to press charges. They told us that the parents can't even press charges.
Wow,
So I told them, I say, so that makes this a predatory state. So they're advocating now, they have the bill on the floor now to change that law.
mm,
So this has turned into something much more than it's exposed a lot of weak spots.
Mm-hmm. And room to grow.
And is so I wish it wasn't my baby. You know what I mean? I wish it wasn't her. I wish it wasn't her.
But at
But
the same
that
time,
in us fighting
yeah.
for her return, we're learning so much stuff, man, and we're finding out so many things. And
And we've been able to encourage other parents that are
yeah,
going through the same exact thing that we're going through. It's nothing but the grace of God that has helped,
it's y'all,
and
man.
you and the
It's
and the
y'all.
God sends through you
Yeah.
all and other social media influencers and different things that have given us um strength to press
right,
through
You
these
gave us a
moments.
voice.
You gave us a
right.
voice, you gave us a
And
platform to
and that's
speak.
my voice. That's my page is here for. My page was started because I felt as though a lot of black women, men weren't getting the proper attention. There was a lot of black women
And that's sad because at the end of the day, if I start bleeding and another person of a different nationality or race starts bleeding, our blood comes out the same color. So at the end of the day, what you see on the outside should never be a hindrance. It should never matter. Everybody should be heard. Everybody should, be taken at the same level of care. But I wanted to make sure that while we had this platform, we will be hosting an hour of prayer here in Hopkinsville at this place called the Pit Lounge. I'll send you the flyer for it. It's gonna start at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I'm asking that anybody that's a believer in Jesus Christ to come out to pray with us, to bombard heaven with us, because we know that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. We know this. So even though it don't seem well right now, we know we got the victory. Even though while we in the middle of it, we know we have the victory. So we're asking for y'all to come out and just be in agreement with us in prayer for Amanda and for Kemera. Even though Kemera is found and she's safe and well, Kemera still needs prayer. Now she stayed in my home. I cared for this baby. I fed this baby. I clothed this baby. So she's a part of me now. She's a part of us now. And I'm asking the village to wrap their arms even around her. They both need it.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know
Let's
if
see.
you, oh, yes. Oh.